Another question from the audience? Yes.
All right, my name is Amy Hogan, and I'm a graduate of the Barnstable High School's night program. And I would like to know what you're doing to keep kids in the school system as opposed to throwing them out, and why both of the suspension rates and dropout rates in Barnstable are so much greater than the state's average. And what will you do to reduce the suspension and dropout rates? And I also want to know why they abandoned the evening program, which kept an average of 100 juniors and seniors graduating each year. Because I graduated from that program, and I would have never graduated high school if it wasn't for that program. And shouldn't the school committee's mission...
Okay, we have 3 questions. We're going on to our 3rd question right now. So let me deal with the first 2 to see if I can summarize them, and then we'll let you ask your 3rd. Okay?
Oh, there's no 3rd.
There's no 3rd, okay. Let me take the shorter one first, which is, why has the evening school been abandoned, and what are your opinions on that? And at this point, let us start with Mr. Lawler.
I think it's a shame that the evening school was abandoned. It was abandoned not primarily, but solely for financial reasons, with certain budgetary restraints. And you're going to hear this same answer for a lot of things. You know, we're dealing with a specific budget, and we have to work within the budget. I think it's a shame. I think that the evening program was focused to a certain population that needed it. I think it was appropriate for kids that were working and had other focuses in their lives, but obviously needed to obtain a high school diploma. Also, the big part of it is that many of the kids in the evening program, some people have the assumption that these weren't bright kids. Some of these extraordinarily bright kids who just had enough focus. And I think that we've talked about trying to bring it back, but it's a fiscal issue. And I think that we need to become creative fiscally in an attempt to bring programs like that and other things back into the community so we can address the entire population. Like I said before, from the special needs to the children with gifted and talented, and we can't forget those kids in the middle. Thank you.
Mrs. Dandridge?
We are going to bring that program back. I'm determined to get that program back. That is one of my agendas, that we absolutely have to restart that program. I've already talked about Vanessa, who's the superintendent, and she would like to do it too. It is an excellent program. We need to be able to help these young people that don't graduate the normal way. And I think it's very good that the young lady stood up and made that question.
Mr. Murphy.
I want to make an invitation to a November 7th meeting at Cape Cod Community College. There's a graduation being held, sponsored by the Cape and Islands Workforce Investment Board. I'm on the board of directors of that organization. This is it's not just a local problem or a regional problem. Here's the issue. If you gave educators the resources, they could, within months, years, eliminate or greatly reduce any kind of dropout rates and increase graduation rates. What we're looking for is a sustainable organizational model for a PM program. One of the ideas that we are beginning to talk about with the Cape and Islands Workforce Investment Board is to create a regional organizational model that would be the equivalent of a PM program. So, for example, children from Dennis and Yarmouth and Barnstable would all work to come to one PM program together. Maybe the PM program would be housed at the community college or someplace like that. So come November 7th.
Mr. McDonald?
Pat used a key word here, and that is sustainable. One of the challenges with the PM program, which was a terrific program that really helped many, many students, and I recognize that did happen. Much of it was funded through grants, and one of the challenges when you have grants coming in is that the grants in the end assume that the school district will ultimately take over the responsibility financially when the grant fades away in many cases. Well, that was happening at the same time. Some of the fiscal issues were very challenging for the school district. So it's not that the evening program for students who may not be making it successfully in the day program is something we have to take a serious look at. I agree with Peggy that it's something we have to find a way to do. It doesn't mean that it's easy, and you have all these competing issues. Do we eliminate bus fees? If we do that, what are the implications? One of the things you have to look at is you have to make certain that today's solutions don't cause tomorrow's problems, and that's always a challenge. And there's a give and take on all of these issues. So point number one, we will take and should take a hard look at trying to bring that back.
Thank you. Mr. Dolby?
Point number two will have to be the next question.
I was fortunate enough to be the chairman of the school committee when that program first went in, and I had an opportunity to visit it several times, and had a great staff and great success. I think what I'm interested in now is, along with this program being reinstituted, that we work to drive this dropout rate and at-risk kids issue down. And I think the only way we do that is the high school needs some help. They can't do everything. We have a great staff out there. But what we need is a community-based group. After we talked about a group that's at the college, I want to see a Barnstable group come together so we can deal with some of these issues. And with a group like that, I think what you'll find is maybe a grant. We have some great grant writers in this district too. But maybe if we involve other members of the community and business members, we can get that program back in place where it should be, because it's a great program.
Okay, the next